On this episode of the 10 Code Public Safety Podcast, we discuss community engagement, how the Murfreesboro Police Department and Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department are serving and interacting with the community as well as educating. Hello everyone, I'm your host, Public Safety Information Officer Larry Flowers. Today's guests include Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department Assistant Chief and Fire Marshal Carl Pease, and Murfreesboro Police Department Community Engagement Coordinator Amy Ditton. That's Sergeant Amy Ditton. Well, community engagement, as we know, is a vital part of both the fire and police department. It gives the men and women of both departments an opportunity to interact with the community, but educate at the same time. If both of you will, could you please list a variety of community engagement programs that each one of your departments offer?
Larry, we've worked over the years to develop programs to reach out to our community, and we've finally gotten to a point where I think we have something for everyone, from birth to our senior citizens. We do child passenger safety education with parents and caregivers. Of course, that's from birth to age 9 and then beyond. Then we have our SROs do a summer camp for ages 8 to 12. The Murfreesboro Police Department Junior Officer Summer Camp. And then we have our Teen Citizens Academy for teenagers ages 13 to 17. And then our Adult Citizens Police Academy for anybody 18 and up. And then before COVID, and hopefully starting again in January, we'll go back to having our Citizens Police Academy Senior Edition that's usually hosted at the St. Clair Senior Center, where we do Citizens Academy classes, but more focused on the needs and issues faced by our senior citizens.
Same question, Assistant Chief.
We've been doing it for several years. We started out by mainly focusing on younger children and our senior citizens. Here in the last, let's say 5 to 10 years, we've expanded out to where now we have a teen fire academy. I think this past year was the first year we actually did that, and it was a huge success. We've been doing a Citizens Fire Academy as well as like the police department does, from 18 and up, and we've had that program going on for probably 10, 12, 14 years now. But we're also, about 5 years ago, we went into the city schools to where now we do the STEAM program in every city school. We'd like to expand that out to offer to the county schools as well, and maybe even going further out to other counties. But right now we're just doing the city schools.
And I know Sergeant Ditton had mentioned child passenger safety program. Both departments offer that. Just a few stats. I think 608 children, 12 and under, were killed in car crashes in the U.S. While riding in passenger vehicles. Every 25 seconds is how often a child 14 and younger is involved in a crash while riding in a passenger vehicle. 71% of car seats reduce an infant's risk of a fatal injury. So those stats are from the FBI crime stats and the NHTS fatality analysis reporting system. I again see that both departments offer a child safety passenger seat program. So if you wouldn't mind, Assistant Chief Pease, just talk about your program there at the Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department.
We've had the program in place now for about 12 years. We have got approximately 50 to 55 technicians in our department. We took on the program to where all of our stations are centrally located in the community. And so every one of our stations now is a checkpoint station. So if somebody needs their car seat checked, they can go to any station, any Murfreesboro Fire Rescue station in the city, and we'll have a technician there. It was one of the best programs that we could have adopted. I didn't realize how many car seats are installed wrong, and I include myself in that. I'm a father. Of course, my son's 23 years old now, but when I did his car seat when he was younger, I never did it right. Now, when I say that, that don't mean that everyone's wrong and in danger, but there's just little things. When I took the class, I'm sure as well as Sergeant Ditton when she took it, I had no idea what we could talk about for 4 days about a car seat. After the first day, I thought, what have I gotten myself into? Now, I mean, after the class and just seeing and helping the community with that, it's very rewarding. And like I said, I didn't realize how many car seats were installed incorrectly.
Sergeant, if you were talking about the program here at Murfreesboro Police.
We've had technicians for years. Our program waned for a little while, and it's come back in the past couple of years. The fire department is there. Anybody wants to stop by, that's great. But we have officers that can go, they can go to your home. They can go to your place of business if you want an officer to come by and meet with you on your lunch break. We reach out to daycares, pediatricians' offices, obstetricians' offices. This past weekend, we had a very successful event in partnership with Murfreesboro Medical Clinic. They did a lot of promotion on that. And in 3 hours, 5 technicians checked 36 seats. So it was very busy, but a lot of our people then, I won't say a lot, there were young families, there were grandmothers that came in. One grandmother pulled up and said, I just have a mystery in my back seat and I need you to help me solve it. And it wasn't a mystery, it was just the fact of one little thing on the seat that she wasn't familiar with. And that's a lot of the challenge for parents and caregivers, is knowing all the little nuances of the child seat and the situation with their vehicle seat, because sometimes those don't match up very well. So some of the education that a technician has is how to overcome those challenges, and we share that with the parents.
As a matter of fact, that event with MMC, there was someone that posted a comment on Facebook. It's like, have we gotten to a point where we have to teach parents and guardians how to install a seat? Can't they just read the directions? But sometimes it's not as simple as reading directions, is it?
Child seat manufacturers do everything they can to make the child seat functional across the board for all vehicle manufacturers. But each vehicle manufacturer's seats are a little different. The space in the vehicle's back seat area is a little different. The angle of the back seat, the base of the back seat is a little different. As a matter of fact, last spring, we had a child passenger safety technician class here, and 2 of the people that came through and got their technician certification are engineers with a vehicle manufacturer. And their sole job is to install child seats in that manufacturer's vehicles and then basically write a review, which child seats fit those vehicle seats the best. And they were engineers, and they were amazed that there were just little things that it might mention in the directions, but translating that direction booklet to real life, it's not always easy to do.
Yeah, and Assistant Chief Pease, I saw you nodding as well. It's not as simple as reading those directions.
It's not, and you know, when people read anything, they can interpret it different ways. So it's not just cut and dry. The directions say do this. So, you know, but there again, whether it's Murfreesboro Police, Murfreesboro Fire, if you've got any questions or concerns, stop by this PD, stop by one of my stations. We don't charge anything, they don't charge anything, you know, and it's just comforting to know that we get it in, we get it right, and now they understand it.
And I guess to sort of toot our own horn here, Sergeant didn't understand that you recently received an award from the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. If you wouldn't mind, just expound on that.
Our team actually won it. They put my name on the award, but I think it was just because I was there to pick it up. But we went from having, I think, 3 technicians in the department 2 years ago to having 20 technicians. And we're a fitting station now with the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. The number of seats that we've done, the number of technicians that we've added, and the number of seats funded by THSO that we've been able to get out into the community, they thought we were doing the best work in the past year. The only thing that did was gave the chief a reason to give me a challenge to do it again next year bigger. So that's our goal, outdo what we did last year. And I mentioned our technicians. Most of our technicians are school resource officers. So they are focusing on the booster seat population, which tends to be the ones that transition out of seats a little early, and it puts them at great risk because they're not ready for just a seat belt yet. So at least twice a week, I get a call from an SRO, hey, I need a booster seat. So we're to the point now we're in the process of getting booster seats for them to keep in their offices at the schools. So when they encounter a child that needs a booster seat, they just have somebody at the school go to their office and get a booster, and they can fix it right there.
And of course, engaging with our schools, that's very important for both departments. Assistant Chief Pease, you had mentioned earlier about the STEAM program. What is the STEAM program, and how do you guys get students involved?
Well, the STEAM program, the city schools, I believe out of the 13, I believe there's 8 or 9 of them that are considered STEAM schools. And that's where they focus on, STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. And they focus their curriculum around those. About 6-7 years ago, we were always in the schools. We were always doing like K through 2. But one of the principals approached our chief at the time and was talking about the STEAM program. And it was brought to us to say, hey, why don't we go in these schools and teach science, technology, education, mathematics, and all that as it relates to the fire service. So we got with the director of city schools at the time and her staff, and it took about a year of planning to when we finally got it implemented, and now we do it in every school. So we go to every school. We're there for an hour usually, and we do the second grade. Now, we would love to do every grade, but staffing won't allow us to do every grade. So we focused on second grade, and the reason we focused on second grade is because there's also the TCAP testing, I believe, starts in third grade. So we didn't want to interfere with any TCAP stuff. I think it's still called TCAP. But so we focused on second grade. But like I said, it's amazing what these kids can absorb. We teach them fire behavior classes, the same class we teach to our firefighters, and they're understanding it, But then, there's other things that we talk about, but we talk about the science, the technology, the engineering as it relates to the fire service.
And Sergeant didn't understand that MPD used to offer the DARE program, but they've sort of transitioned to the Travis Manion Foundation Character Does Matter program. Could you talk about that?
Yeah. For years, 20 plus years, we taught the DARE program. And most people are familiar with it, the drug abuse resistance education. And the last update of DARE dealt with decision making. That was kind of its focus. And then it hasn't been updated in a long time. And our SROs started checking around to see if there was something that would work better, that would get more to the core of problems across the board, not just drug problems, but just problems across the board. And they came up on the Travis Manion Foundation Character Does Matter curriculum. It's not as structured as DARE. They can teach the lessons in whatever order works best for that school. And I think there's 14 character traits that they have lessons on. They get with the guidance counselors or the teachers and work in tandem on these character traits to go along with lessons already being taught in the schools. I think it was last year, one of the SROs was talking about the students were studying Jackie Robinson and all of his challenges and what he went through. And the SRO thought that'd be a good time to do the perseverance lesson. So they used Jackie Robinson as the example for perseverance, and the kids totally bought into it, totally embraced it, and they really got it. So Travis Manion, it doesn't cost us anything. They cover the cost of everything, whereas DARE, we had to buy workbooks and we bought all the giveaway things. Travis Manion Foundation doesn't require us to buy anything. They fully support us in it. They train the officers at no cost. And they've actually started the past couple of years doing the Travis Manion Foundation run on September 11th.
The Travis Manion Foundation in Murfreesboro City Schools is now being used as a model across the country because it was the first school district to implement that program in every single school. Mm-hmm. And so now understand, other sheriff's office, other police departments are now looking to Murfreesboro, and we actually send trainers from here to help teach the program.
Yeah, we were kind of a pioneer in the, excuse me, take the program out to the schools, and it got a rough start. We started it, I think, spring of 19, and then school year 2020, we were really going to kick it in there, and then COVID hit, and everybody got out of schools for a while. So they had to get creative in how to still get the character traits out to the kids and all that. Of course, 2021, 2022 school year was a bit different too, but the SROs are committed to it. They all love the program. They love what it stands for. There's a face behind it. There is a real person named Travis Mannion. Unfortunately, he's a veteran that got killed in action. So his, I guess, mantra is something that resonates with everybody. If not me, then who? You know, we all want to sit back and say somebody needs to do something. Well, these kids are learning that when something needs to be done, if not me, then who?
And moving along here, we also know how important it is to get out in the community. I know MFRD provides, education on smoke alarms and carbon monoxide alarms, and we even provide one for free if needed. If you wouldn't mind, Assistant Chief Pease, to just go into that community program, that neighborhood program of providing smoke alarms and things of that nature.
We started the smoke alarm program several years ago, and it was, at that time, it was funded by the city. And anybody that needed smoke alarms, we would come out, we would install them. Well, here recently, in the last few years, we've teamed up with the State Fire Marshal's Office, and now we're doing what's called Get Alarmed in conjunction with the State Fire Marshal's Office in Nashville. And what they do is they can run statistical information based off what's called our TFERS reports as to what communities are having problems where their smoke detector is not present. And we get a demographic of the community, and we take that map and we go out and we go door to door and we just knock on doors. And now we give them the old type smoke detectors were the battery operated. Now there's the 10-year lithium. So we're giving out and installing 10-year lithiums. And the first few years of it, we installed, I would hate to say, or guess to say, 1,000 to 1,500. But now the numbers are slowing down because we're getting the word out. We talk to all the children at school, and we say, hey, go home, have your mom or dad show you your smoke detector. If you don't have one, write a note to the teacher. Bring it to school. The teacher can call us. We'll send a truck out and we'll install it for free. Wow. So that program, like I said, has been going for about 5 years now. Very successful program. But still to this day, we get calls, hey, I don't have my smoke detectors, don't work. We'll even come out and replace your batteries if you can't reach them. Or if there's some physical limitation that you can't get on a ladder, call us. We'll come out, we'll send a truck out. We'll have the guys just guys and gals change out the batteries.
And for those who still have regular batteries, during the time change, it's still a good idea to change those batteries. Fall back, spring forward?
Yep. Every time you change the clocks, change your batteries. Now, again, if you've got the new 10-year lithiums, you don't have to do that. But if you've still got the 9-volt or the AA's, yeah, we recommend to change them twice a year.
What about new construction? Are those wired?
New construction it's what's called hardwired with battery backup. The hardwire works off your electrical service. The battery backup is in case the power goes down. The nice thing about the new ones too is they're all what's called interconnected, which means if one goes off, they all go off. Now, you can buy battery operated ones in the new technology that will do that, but if your old smoke detectors are not hardwired, if one goes off, they all don't go off. That's just a newer version that's come out in the last 3 to 5 years. But yeah, the new construction is hardwired, battery backup, interconnected.
Great. And the police department also gets involved in the community. Say, for instance, a neighborhood may have a problem, car break-ins or something. Is neighborhood watch still a thing?
It is still a thing. As a matter of fact, just a couple months ago, Chief decided there was enough need for one person to focus on just crime prevention, and Sergeant Turner came out of patrol and he is now our crime prevention coordinator. He does neighborhood watch meetings. He'll do active shooter trainings and workplace safety trainings if you have a business or a group that wants that training. He's gotten his crime prevention through environmental design certification. So if you have a business that you want a security survey done, you want to see if there's ways you can make it a harder target for a burglar or make it safer overall, he can come out and meet with you, walk through the building, around the building, and help you with that kind of thing. He's trying to decide the best approach to apartment safety, to kind of revamp that program a little bit. So we've got somebody dedicated just to crime prevention now.
So, or what about the neighborhood watch signs? How can a person or a neighborhood association?
If you want one of those, contact Sergeant Turner. His email is 0240@murfreesborotn.gov. And ask him to help you with a neighborhood watch meeting. Once you have a meeting with your neighbors, then he will reach out to the city's street sign department and get those signs installed. We just ask that you have a meeting first so everybody's on the same page before we go putting signs up.
Right, I understand. And Assistant Chief Pease, MFRD take part in community events throughout the year. You know, events like Touch a Truck, you go to daycares, you'll take your truck out, sometimes on a hot day spray water. Just talk about some of those community events like Touch a Truck. I guess I can get that out. And the other things that you guys do for the community.
Well, we try to do all we can with the community. Most of the time, and this kind of goes back to the police department as well. Most of the time when people see us or call for us, they're having a bad day. Or things are going wrong in their life and they can't get it straightened out, so they call both police and fire to come help fix their worlds. So when we can get out in the normal day and do the public events, go to the daycares, go to the schools, go to the senior citizen centers and talk to them, do the Touch a Truck, it's just normal people showing you a fire truck. It's not, it's not Assistant Chief Pease or it's not Sergeant Denton. It's Carl. It's the guys and gals on the trucks. They're normal, and that's what we kind of want to stress to the public. We're just like everybody else. Of course, the kids love the trucks. Sometimes we'll go do a teaching event at a school or a daycare, and when the captain or the driver or whoever is talking to the kids about safety stuff, the kids are looking right through them at the truck. And they once they get their hands on the truck, that's the biggest thing to them. And so that's why we do that. I mean, it's because we want to show them we're normal people too. We've got day-to-day lives other than what we do at work. And just getting out there, getting our name out, getting out in the public to say, hey, if you need something, you don't call and ask for Assistant Chief Pease. Call and ask for Carl. Because that's the biggest thing is get out there in the public, show them that we're here for them, and not necessarily in their worst time. Hey, back when Sergeant Denton was talking about COVID, when COVID hit, everything shut down. Our tours stopped. We had to stop people coming through our stations because we didn't know, if they were COVID or not. The daycares stopped. The schools stopped. So to get out there, we did stuff. My division started doing requests for birthdays. We would drive through the neighborhood. Police did as well. Trying to keep that engagement with the public, saying, hey, you know what? COVID's going on. The whole world's locked down. We're still here. We're still here if you need us.
And Sergeant Denton, normally this time of year, there are national night out events going on. But I think the police department decided not to participate in National Night Out this year, but do another initiative called Faith in Blue Weekend.
Right.
Can you discuss that?
Last year we did both within a week of each other. So the shift for us this year has been to concentrate on Faith in Blue. Faith in Blue is a nationwide initiative that started in, I believe, 2019. 2020, of course, dampened it a little bit. 2021, it came back a little bigger, and this year it's going to be a lot bigger. Last year, we just opened up our ride-along program to any pastor or faith-based organization leader to just come and ride along with our officers, and then ask our officers to go to a different church or a different faith-based meeting that they don't normally go to, just to meet people. So this year, I was going to say this weekend. No, it's in 2 weeks. So we're going to do. It's going to look a lot like National Night Out if you're on the outside looking in. But if you come to the event, you'll see that it's all about partnerships. Our faith-based organizations and our community resource organizations or not-for-profit organizations. The idea behind it is to let members of congregations find out about resources that they may not know are here. They may need them and not know they're here. Or they may be looking for something they can do to take church outside the walls. And a lot of these resource organizations always need volunteers. So it's going to be the 2 booths set up. If they have a standing partnership, we're going to put them next to each other and showcase that partnership. If not, it's just a time for everybody to come out and get to know each other, learn about each other. While that's going on, we're going to have a Pack the Cruiser available to pack with non-perishable food items for the food bank. We've done those before, and they've been so successful, we had to send one of our pickup trucks to pick up the stuff that wouldn't fit in the one patrol unit. Our building's going to be open for tours that day, so anybody that wants to come and see behind these walls, it's not just taking church outside the walls, but we're bringing anybody that wants to come into our walls to come in and find out what's going on. We're partnering with TBI on that event, and at noon, the TBI's chaplain is going to lead a interfaith community prayer in front of our memorial wall, just to pray for safety and peace in our community.
That's great. Before we wrap up, is there anything else, any other community engagement events or activities that your department is involved in that you would like to talk about?
I'd just like everybody to remember too that as we approach the fall and the winter months, as Christmas is coming up, the Toys for Tots campaign. It's sponsored by the United States Marine Corps. Still an outstanding agencies get together and collect toys for children for the underprivileged. We're still real big into that. We still help out with it, as does the police department as well. So just remember that. I mean, it's getting that time of year. Like my pastor said, don't only open your hearts, open your mind, open your wallet.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The other program during Christmas time that happens is Shop with a Cop. Last couple of years, the officers have gone shopping for the kids with the kids list, and then done home deliveries. So if you see an officer out shopping looking really confused in the Barbie section with gift cards and pieces of paper, they're probably not doing their shopping for their family. They're probably shopping for their Shop with a Cop kid. So, that's 100% donation driven, but it's one of our officers' favorite programs to do.
Sure. Of course, we've been discussing community engagement and what programs that are being offered by the Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department and the Murfreesboro Police Department. Thank each one of you for joining us today.
Thank you.
The Public Safety Podcast originates from the Murfreesboro Police Department headquarters. Thanks for listening via Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Music Audible, and now on Google Podcasts. You can also watch the Public Safety Podcast via YouTube. The Public Safety Podcast is produced by Michael Nevels. For more information on public safety in the fast-growing city of Murfreesboro, visit our website, www.murfreesborotn.gov. Until next time, I'm Larry Flowers. You be sure to have a great day.